Good morning, Jairo.
Good morning. Mm.
You sleep well?
Mm.
I suspect not.
Oh. let's, let's see. Mm. Mm.
How was your night?
We're live.
Indeed, we are.
Ooh.
Can you imagine eternity compared to that hiccup?
Mm.
My son's always reminding me not to get stuck in the moment or to dwell on unpleasantness. Okay, one moment. Give him a hand.
Mm.
There you go.
Mm.
He's setting up his breakfast for the morning. So far, let's see. He's assembled popcorn, bran flakes, and strawberry yogurt.
Mm.
Right.
Mm.
So, the lady who, when she was young, who I guess her sin was bearing false witness. Is that the situation? I think we've discussed this online prior or previously. It turned out to be a little bit more complex than just that. But she died this week. And the question that I've been wondering about is that at the end of the age of man, will these two have an opportunity to have a conversation with each other? Emmett and this young lady who died so many years later after he died. And if they did, this may be an impossible question to answer. But if they were having, I'm just imagine, I guess is all I'm really saying, how that conversation might go.
Mm.
I'm thinking of all the people who maybe have faced those who've hurt them,
Mm.
and all the people who have not had the opportunity to face those who have caused them harm. In either instance, the question remains the same. How do you move forward? And that's our topic for the week. Or the morning. How do you move forward? Moving forward.
Mm. 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 Wow. Mm.
One thing I figured out is that you have to be operating well, you got to be honest. You got to have some idea of truth. And I'm not just talking about my truth, your truth, but objective truth.
Mm.
And there's got to be like that objective truth has to be shared and be reasonably agreed upon. It seems to me that we all have a unique experience, even of the same events. Good morning, Don.
Good morning, Mommy. Hello here.
Mm-hmm. Good
Oh,
morning,
hello.
Don.
Good morning. Are you guys awake and thinking clearly?
To various degrees.
Ah, pray tell.
Well, I had a very active day where my wife and I worked to get as many things. My son has decided he's going to eat breakfast right in that seat.
Oh. Hi.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to go ahead and put this yogurt away since you're not going to eat it then. You want to put it away?
Chair, please.
You can have the chair.
I want help here, please.
You want help? There's your popcorn.
I want chocolate, please.
Are you going to eat this, Brand?
I want red chocolate, please. I want white chocolate, please.
Oh, right. Still haven't figured out my situation here. In short, though, before I went to attend to my son, my wife and I attended a meeting with the area director and a new trainee school director for Classical Conversations, which is a sort of a Christian community, sort of kind of homeschool thing that's in 200 countries.
I'm on the way home.
Yes. It's going to be out of the home, but it's 1 day a week for like 3 hours.
Please.
I know. Go shopping. He really just loves running around in various marketplaces.
Oh, I see.
Hmm.
Let me see his cute face.
Good luck with that.
Chair, please. I want white chocolate, please.
You can plug it in.
Where do
Nowhere. Oh, here, I guess. I mean, will I turn off the mod marbles?
Hello, friends.
Ah! No! No!
It's
Damn it!
that time again.
No! 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 No!
I-
No! No!
The
No!
alarm.
No! 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 Oh! Oh!
The alarm woke me up at 6:40
Wake up
something.
and suck your.
But then I said, "Oh, I'll snooze," and then oh my gosh, it's
On the
time.
morning
And
sleep.
I was late 1 minute.
Not bring the goddamn home.
Mm.
Hey! Michael Lamar and sleep. I'm halfway to fucking coma.
Okay, I think I'm gonna wind up moving into the other room, the front bedroom.
No.
We may have to do a take 3, Cairo.
Take 3.
Only over.
Okay, dear. But let me move into the other room first.
Go.
Ah.
He doesn't deserve to take anything.
Ah.
I'm staying here.
We tried to get to SeaWorld, but then opted to do other things like work instead of play things, mostly shopping at Publix and
No.
Mart and no, this will work. Put this right in there. Oh, sorry, Doug. Didn't mean for that to fall on you. You do. Oh, here. You have a cup of goldfish already. Leave it here. Please.
Yes. I hurt my head.
You did. No, we're going over here in the kitchen. That's where we're gonna do it from. I can't apologize for how chaotic my life is. It's just something one works with or around. Okay, here, I'm gonna plug it in over here on the wall, okay? Because I know you insist on having this thing always plugged in for one reason or another. I haven't quite figured out what, except that it satisfies you for it to be so. There we go. And you want it goldfish, and there you go. Anyhow. Yeah, come here. No.
Whoa,
Okay.
look at my halo.
Oh yeah, so that's we've seen that before. It's
Oh, wow.
active.
It makes you look not innocent. Oh, well, that looks good. No, wait, go do that again. Wait, go back to that. Oh, look at that. That was kind of cool. When your head is blocking the light, it's a good, you should take a picture. Not
Yeah,
right
yeah.
there.
It-
Right
and
there. Take a picture.
Hold on. You got
And
it.
the head eclipses the fan.
Yes. It looks good.
What are we doing?
That's a cool shot.
That one.
Ooh.
Where to?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
going
you
to-
sitting?
So let's see. Thus, I have heard. No, or at the beginning, Rami posed a a a meditation on on what on imagine that you and your friend come out in the distant future and maybe one you remember something that you haven't gotten over with your friend, and how would that conversation go like, and
I want press no
you would
six.
want to
I want press no six, please.
try to maintain
I want
objective
recent
truth,
plan, please.
Well, yeah,
Not
that would be one of
something like
the
that.
prerequisites in order to be able to do anything
In order
approaching.
to resolve the memory between the
Like
two,
cereal.
something like that.
In essence, the question is, how do we have peace and reconciliation?
Oh, peace and reconciliation. How do we
Or
peace and reconciliation? And we have perfect memory of something that
Nice
happened
milk.
between the two,
Nice cereal milk.
except there's a problem right then and there. You strive for objective truth, but then
More milk, please.
there are two truths. There's
More
the
milk,
truth
please.
of one. There's the truth of one
Nice cereal
uh,
milk.
of 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 one person seeing it from his point of view towards the other person, and then reverse it, and there's the truth of the other person seeing it from his point of view or her point of view. So there's 2 points
I
of
want a
view,
spoon, please.
and there's some commonality there. They're sharing something because they're sharing time and space, more or less, but from 2 different views. So there's 2 different truths right then and there, because it would be remembering perfectly, but there are 2 different points of view. So what's seen is different, even though there's something shared. Like they might see the same cup, they might see it the same cup, but they would see it from different angles. And they get different ideas about the cup or whatever.
Sure. Well, here's an example. Let's say they're facing each other and one sees the handle on the right side and the other sees the handle for the left side. And one reaches with the right hand and one reaches with the left hand. And they both want the contents inside the cup. Thus conflict. How do you resolve this issue? Let's say the 2 people don't want to drink from the same cup.
Let's say one of them gets to drink from the cup.
Okay.
They could flip a coin, and they call it, whoever gets it gets to drink from the cup and drinks the rest of it.
Right. Let's say that neither of them have a coin.
Or maybe they could get another cup and share.
Maybe, but let's say there's only one cup available. I would claim that the one who wants it most is going to be the one who consumes the contents of the cup
Bananas.
well or unwell, according to the eyes of the other person.
Okay.
My bananas.
Do the 2 remain friends? Or does that become a wedge?
Good morning, Jorge.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Rami. Good morning, Jairo.
Morning,
Jorge,
Jorge.
you're back.
Mr. Rami, I
Yes.
remember a story from the Bible. I don't remember. It was the King Solomon.
Okay.
When
Oh,
two
yes.
women they were fighting a kid.
Right.
They
Yes.
both say that they were mother of the kid, and the King
Yes.
Solomon, okay, let's kill the kid and nobody get the kids. And one of the mothers, oh, you know what? Take it, it's yours. So then the king realized, okay, this is the mother. This kid belongs to you. Do you remember that story, Rami?
Yes, and I'm glad that you bring up the idea of the 3rd-party judge, or the wise judge. In that case, being Solomon.
That's a wonderful story. He's not only wise, he's slick.
Yeah, he's slick because he offers to have the kid cut in two and handed to the 2 claimants. Because in the original story, it's 2 mothers with 2 children, and one rolled over one of their children in the night, smothering the innocent creature. And then before the other one wakes up, but if you've ever been a woman after she's given birth, that is a very deep sleep. She goes ahead and takes the other woman's child. She swaps the babies. Maybe she's the slick one. So full of foibles. But that's just commentary.
Coca-Cola milk.
Go ahead. What if for every person ever to exist, there is enough clay available, and we can build more kilns if necessary. In fact, let's say there already are enough kilns to fire the cups.
Please.
Let's say there is always enough cups, and not only enough cups, but enough delicious drinks to fill those cups with. What keeps that scenario from manifesting? Or is actually that the scenario, which has manifested to the greatest extent? Or does it only manifest in some places and not in other places? And by cup, well, it's not really about the cup as much as it is about the fluid within the cup. Yes, that which keeps our physicality going. Because try going, I don't know, 7, 10, 14 days without water. Eventually, your body's going to give up, and that's the end of your experience in physicality.
Interesting. I remember another story. I think a cup is just an idea. I don't know if you remember the story when Diogenes, is that the right pronunciation? Diogenes,
Diogenes.
Diogenes, okay. When he saw a kid drinking water without a cup, just with his bare hands, and he stood up. Oh my God! A kid showed me
Watermelon.
a wonderful. He told me a wonderful thing that I don't need a cup to drink water. So, do you remember that, Rami?
Yes, that's a new one for me. Thank you for teaching me. You've been my teacher today, Jorge. Thank you. You've transmitted the story successfully. That's great. So then the matter then becomes not about the capital, which a cup represents, but the resources in nature. I was thinking that earlier this morning that all wars basically come down to territory and ideology. In other words, who is going to have dominion, and how is that resource going to be managed? And I think that if you do a good enough job, perhaps in answering the second question, then you're probably going to eliminate most of the first. And I'm speaking from a high level, being a sturdy advocator of subsidiarity, where matters ought to be handled at the most local, competent level possible, which is a Catholic social teaching, but also it can be applied outside of the church. The European Union, for instance, is supposed to be operating according to that model, but it's questionable as to what degree that it is. And some think that the Union in spirit, if not in actuality, is over, because they seem to have in ways violated their own principle of subsidiarity. And I think that comes as a result of basically the banality of evil. And the other thing I've been thinking about this week is that something that someone wrote about, when you go out searching for evil, one of the things that you find, and it's rather stark, is that nothing is there. Evil seems to take place in moments in time and space, and then those moments are gone, and there may not be even evidence except for the effects of it. Some crimes are witnessed, but others, probably a lot of them aren't. There may be all sorts of case studies in law, maybe even courses taught in legal university or law universities on how to deal in situations like that.
I make a mess.
Oh, okay. Well, you're cleaning it up, so that's all right. Right. So banality of evil. That's Hannah Arendt's idea that that evil, what makes it
If you surprise.
banal is the fact that it most often comes out of the lack or the failure of people simply to think. For instance, to think about the consequences of their actions, to think about what this would do to others, to think, period, at all. And one thing I've witnessed, I think we've all witnessed in a lot of people for the past handful of years, are people not necessarily thinking, and through their actions of not thinking, hurting others. So thus the question of how do we reconcile with our fellow human beings who haven't quite caught on to the fact that failures in this area have resulted in harms, and a result of that is now some repair work that's going to have to take place. And to the extent that it doesn't take place, well, I mean, it could take years and it could take decades given the situation. Thank you, Don. Yes.
I was going to say very good topic, because I'm actually dealing with a situation with a friend, and that over the years I've been because I see value in the person, I've been wanting to I wouldn't say repair, but to continue the relationship, because it requires me to accept literal chaos with this person. There's chaos in this person's world, and it spills over into other people's worlds. So that's one of the reasons why I've distanced myself. But when you go to the point of the person's actions affecting others or hurting others, and that this person needs to be aware of it, that's been my position, that he needs to be aware that we people, I say we, I'm speaking for myself, but I'm saying that people love him, but we get too much of his world in our worlds, and it causes conflict. And I got to a point where I was becoming so frustrated, so angry, I had to actually, a year ago, cut off communicating with this person, because he wasn't getting it. And he just felt like, it seemed to feel like I needed to, I don't know, be okay with the nonsense that was going on around him and that he brings into my life when he's around. I got so fed up with it because this has been going on for years. And of course, he's got his family and everything that he's dealing with them trying to tell him the same thing. At any rate, here we are almost a year later. And he actually was supposed to arrive here last night at 11:30 last night. He missed his flight leaving Virginia to head here. And I listened to him flipping out and losing his mind and blaming somebody other than himself. I couldn't believe it. I was like, are you kidding me right now? You missed your flight. Nobody else missed it. You did it. But he just proceeded to do that. And then he went back home and he started drinking and, trying to calm himself. And then he said, okay, I'm going to book another flight. Now, I am actually in Pinellas right now because, I live in Citrus County. So I had to drive an hour and a half. I booked an Airbnb so that I could be here to get him. And we, so we didn't have to drive back to Citrus County so late. I got drinks and, all kinds of just party stuff so that if he was awake and we wanted to drink and chat and have a good time, we could. And I haven't eaten since yesterday afternoon. So I'm like, are you kidding me right now? At any rate, he supposedly was planning another flight, which was leaving at 5:40 in the morning. He missed his flight because he didn't leave until after 5 a.m. So I don't even get it, to be honest with you. So I just said, I went off the crazy train. I said, I'm off. I said, look, we got to stop. We got to talk about this. Anyway, not to continue the story, what I'm getting at is the realization that I can choose how I perceive this pattern that's in this person. If I want to have this person in my life, there's a certain amount of acceptance, allowance for space to be given. So this person can be who he is. However, I have to have proper boundaries so that it doesn't spill over into my world, because I don't have to have all of that nonsense in my life. It's a choice that we're making. So I feel like I can't just blame him and say, you're doing these things and you bring this problem to me and you have to fix it. Because in reality, I'm making choices as well. If I don't want what this nonsense is, I don't have to have it in my environment. So I made a choice, even though I know I've known this person for, 8, 9 years. And this is what he always does. He always causes his own problems all the time. I gave it another shot. So instead of blaming him and then, he's got to fix something, instead, I can fix it for myself. I can just accept this is what he is. I allowed this into my space and this is what I'm getting. I will decide differently next time. I don't know if that makes sense.
Take a half hour, please.
Yeah, one of the key things that you brought up was we often do it to ourselves. To what extent are we willing to take responsibility? Because I don't think until you're starting to do that, will anything really occur? And the next question is, are you willing to go far enough? And not just deciding, but taking the action necessary so as to move forward in life. And what's really important?
Indeed, this is a subject that's been had for a while, which is it's been an issue for a while. So I've come to the conclusion that there are some valuable parts to this particular person. So I didn't feel like I needed to necessarily throw him away. But I see that I have to be very, very much in control of how much I allow this person into my space, because otherwise this could quickly turn into, so this morning I was counseling him on the phone saying pretty much exactly what you said, is that he will not stop this chaos unless he stops and accepts full responsibility, because you can't change something that's somebody else's fault. You can only change you. And so I had that conversation with him, and then I said, oh my God, am I going to have a week of this? I don't want this. But I can find peace in allowing this person to be who they are. If I accept it as my responsibility and then I've got to deal with it, and that's in my environment and I hate it and I take that position against it, then it's going to be pervasive and we're going to have much more of a stress. So instead, what I want to do is I want to allow him to be who he is and accept his consequences. So, for example, if we're planning to maybe go and do some event or something, and if he's late, well, then we won't do the event. I don't want to go through this cycle of huffing and puffing and racing around and like a chicken and being late, getting there and being miserable. I don't want to do any of that. I want to
Right.
accept my boundaries and I want to accept him as he is. But that's something I want to be able to do with everybody. That's the difficulty. I'm
Yes.
trying it with this person, but embodying that every day is very, very difficult.
Yes, and I love the fact that you brought up the idea that you wind up in the same cycle when responsibility is not picked up.
Indeed.
That's the
Oh,
thing.
and that's important what you just said as well, because if you take somebody else's responsibility and put it on yourself, you're
The letter
carrying a
C.
burden that you don't need.
The letter C.
And you're carrying that and bearing that. And I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, I think we can all only ever go so far before we get off track. And some people, they just suffer no fools.
Indeed. I've had many people say, you're stupid. Why are you even letting this person around? Well, because I have compassion and I see a value in this person. I just have to find that space where I have that boundary that doesn't allow his nonsense in, which means that he won't be able to visit or, spend time, or like he wants to do some traveling and stuff. And I'd like to be able to go with him, but I can't because I want to have a good time and I don't want to fight with this person.
Well, thank God it's a big, big world.
Absolutely. And you have many different choices. But so yeah, I feel like we help each other and hurt each other at the same time.
Yeah.
The letter D. Letter D. The letter D.
What do you think, Jorge?
Oof, a lot came to my mind, a lot of passages. One of them is from Sun Tzu, the art of war. The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting.
Wow.
And another thought that came to my mind is that we have to be respectful to the idea of other person, the belief system of other person. If we don't respect that, it's gonna be a war. That's the reason that we've been through more than 3 times of history that we have that in this era, human being, we've been fighting wars and wars. A good example, Russia and Ukraine. It's fighting an ideal, and none of them. We hear in this side of the world, we hear and see that the bad things that Russia is doing, but we don't see that the leaders of Ukraine is doing, like forcing all the people to stay there and fight in a war that they don't belong. So that's another idea. But anyways, we need to bring King Solomon to decide and be the in the middle of this war to settle it. But it's not gonna happen, because money, power is in between.
So I've heard certain people where they resign and say, well, there's no changing those people because they worship the almighty dollar. Does that mean we give up on trying to find solutions?
not give up, but I'm gonna say another quote from it's from the Bible. I know you heard uh let how does it go? Let Caesar. I don't remember that. It was something I forgot. I had it in my mind, but I forgot that.
Right, it was in context of the temple tax.
Aha, yes, yes, that one. That is if we go into that thinking that we need to find a solution, it's never going to happen because everybody thinks different. The perception is different. That's why you know this quote, and everybody says that it comes from Voltaire. That I don't agree with what you're saying, but I'm going to defend till death your right to say it. But nobody does that. Nobody respect anybody. So yeah, that's what comes to my mind. Jairo, what do you think about it?
So imagine there's two people in one cup with a delicious drink, and who's one of them gets to drink from it. How do they go about resolving it wisely? Hmm. Is the one with more compassion going to give the cup to the other to drink at the expense of his or her enjoyment of the delicious drink? Is it unfair for the more compassionate one? They don't get to drink from that. What do you think?
I can think of 4 scenarios. One is they could get into a position, no, you take it. The other is like, no, you take it. In one outcome, neither of them drank it. In another outcome, one person drinks it. In another outcome, the other person drinks it. And in a fourth outcome, they decide to get over their backwash issues and just, take successive sips back and forth, or maybe one drinks first and the other drinks the other half after. So in the one scenario where one drinks it but the other doesn't, and I'm just going to fold those two possibilities into two. In one situation, the one person would not get any, but then it wouldn't hurt as bad if they got to have the second half of the contents of the cup.
What if they're equally desirous of the drink, and they will do anything to prevent the other from drinking, and they will struggle to take away the cup from the other, and they both grab the cup, and they're moving back and forth, and boom, they spill it all over each other, and nobody gets to drink. Or maybe they could lick it off each other.
Yeah, they may not. Well, they might lick it off themselves. Yeah, that's a fifth and common possibility too. Render to Caesar the things that are Caesar's. and render to God the things that are of Caesar and the things that are of God. Where Caesar represents the state, or we could call it the empire or the order, whatever the order of the day would be.
So
that means you're paying your. Mhm.
the sixth strategy could be that one of them has a scheme of finding a weakness in the other that would render the other weak and him or her stronger,
Daddy.
so that he becomes like a Caesar to the other. And so he will say, render the cup to me because I am Caesar.
So you're saying it's the king is making claim to have the right to first access to the cup and its goodness and the contents thereof. Is that what you're saying? Okay. And there's
by claiming to be Caesar, by claiming to have the right to the cup.
All right.
First.
Well,
and
yeah.
Then he convinces the other that he is superior in some way.
Sure.
And then the other accepts, and then
right.
that person takes the cup and drinks it all to himself because he is superior in some way.
Sure.
Maybe.
Sure. Oh, I mean, you left the droplets. Come on, don't be ungrateful. Here's another scenario. The cup is spiked with hemlock. So whoever drinks the cup, ultimately, they're going to die. It'll be painful too.
But one of them happened to watch this episode of Wake Up and Think Clearly, and he was able to see things clearly, and he could see that the cup contained hemlock. And so he said, okay, go ahead, you take it. The moral is, wake up and think clearly is good for your health.
You make a mess. You make a mess.
Are you trying to say I made a mess? We're still dealing with, I made a mess a long time ago with my brother when I tried to convince him that the name of the football team was the Your Emmy Dolphins. And every time I see my son confuse I and you, I think he's reminding me of the torture that I gave my little brother.
Oh, that's cute.
Hungry.
I'm
That's
getting
really
there.
cute. All suffering comes from a resistance of what is in the mind. I'm not talking about suffering physically, but just when we resist what is, we want it to be different. It should be different. Why is it like this? We suffer. And for me, I have found and am still finding that letting go is the key, because I don't want to fight. I really don't want to fight. I am so tired of it. And also, I'm very good at telling others how it should be, or, maybe it should be a different way, and helping to guide others. But some people don't want or are not ready for guidance, assistance, being led a way that they are not awakened to. So I kind of feel like, yeah, I'm just going to let the other person have it. Just take it. Whatever it is you want, have it. I'm removing myself from the competition.
And I think that's how God treats us.
Yeah, that remind me, thank you, Dan, for sharing that, but I reminded, once I was listening a psychologist saying that if you get married thinking that that person is gonna make you happy, you're wrong. Yeah, it could be, if you're a woman or a man, thinking that getting married and that person, man or woman, is gonna make you happy. That's the biggest mistake that we make.
Yep, because happiness and peace comes from within. When it is chaotic outside and you think you're going to find peace in that chaos, it's not happening. It can only come from within and then permeate to the outside. And I may sound like I know what I'm talking about, but that's only because I got my butt beat several times in my life already. And I had to learn, stop doing the same dumb thing and expecting a different result.
So let's revise the marriage vow to something like, I promise to stop thinking, or I vow to never think that you're gonna make me happy. And the other person says the same thing to them, and they'll live happily ever after because they've removed all expectation that the other will make them happy.
Well, I think the vowels are good enough. It's just our misdirection of focus and misunderstanding of the purpose or meaning of the words. Uh, I remember taking the vow not just once, by the way. I made the mistake several times, and I didn't have support around me because the institution of marriage has been so taken over by religion. So I got married from a religious point of view, and never once did I understand really, because you don't know until you do it, really what it meant to be committed to someone in sickness and in health. In happiness and sadness, in war and peace. I didn't understand it. And so when the friction arose and we could not see eye to eye and could not get it together, we didn't have the proper resources to help us to understand what was most important. The most important was get out of this fighting, stop it. And so you exit and you never find peace, you never work it through. But I think life has taught me that's, all those different sayings, you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. That plays into it. All of it, all the messages that we've been hearing over the years are trying to help us to understand that the battle exists within the mind. And until we really get it through to ourselves that we have to stop resisting what is and accept and allow and make space for it and stop fighting it, I think we're going to keep spinning in this circle, and marriage will continue to be a failed institution because it's all about physical as opposed to the mindset, in my opinion.
Wow. So it's all about physical. What do you mean by that?
It's not about physical, meaning it's not about the physical relationship, how we are interacting sexually, or how we are when we go out together and play games. And that's just a part of what happens in the relationships, but it's not the relationship. The relationship goes on in our minds. It really does. That's how you realize. Well, for me, I had a relationship with an individual and then realized the entire relationship I had was false because it was in my mind. That person's idea of the relationship was completely different.
Mm.
Ah, I have a question. I don't know if anybody of you wanna help me to grab and tell the difference between the platonic love and agape love. Agape love, the way Jesus teach love,
Right.
and the platonic love.
So platonic is non-sexual. It's sort of a love amongst friends, loving the person because of something that that you value in them, recognizing that, wanting to be around that, I guess. Agape love is the love which doesn't give up. It is the mother of my first son thought that agape love is impossible with human beings. She thought only God was capable of agape love. I think if you've received baptism of the Holy Spirit, you can practice. You can become the manifestation of, let's say, Jesus with skin on, and at least for a while. I don't know if until you're dead or until you start regressing, but I think it's possible through the power of the Holy Spirit to practice agape love. I don't know for how long it's sustainable though, and I think just from a practical perspective, Jesus was doing his ministry for 3 years, and then he got to ascend to heaven and take back up carpentry again.
And we can go, Rami, we can go back to Moses with the Jews, taking the Jews from the being a slave from the Egyptians.
Yeah.
And the first thing the people was criticizing Moses. Hey, why do you take me out? At least over there I had food, I had everything, and now I'm thirsty. I'm starving. So people never is happy, because I don't know what happened. Even there, maybe Moses had this platonic love or agape love or whatever you want to call it, but people don't understand. Like Dan said before, people is not ready. Is never ready. Why? You have the idea why.
Yeah, we all fall short of the glory of God. They, at the start, I mean, not start, but when Moses was up on the holy mountain, and he was gone for a while, and people were questioning, well, is he going to come back? Is he really talking with God? I mean, clearly they were escaped, and clearly they had crossed, so God was there, but I mean, something miraculous happened. They couldn't question that, and there are also the pillars of smoke. Yada, it goes on. But they started creating an idol for themselves to kind of satisfy their own desire to kind of make this whole God thing work, which got them into a whole load of trouble and resulted in like their own personal 9/11, because seriously, if you read the account in Exodus, I think chapter somewhere around 33, I think the sons of Levite got together and they went through the camp, and they just slaughtered 3,000 people. My goodness. I mean, it's, yeah. The darkest thing in the Bible I can think of. I mean, and then it gets repeated again in the conquests of the land of Canaan. And that's why Thomas Paine didn't think the Bible was worth following. He was repulsed by these stories, and they're very difficult stories to contend with, because if you read how it's written, Moses does this as an appeasement because he thinks that that this is the will of God himself. And later at the end of 40 years of putting up with these ungrateful people who he liberated from slavery, all of which who get to die, by the way, that generation does not make it into the promised land. It's their children that do, under Aaron and Joshua. He doesn't get to go into the promised land either. He only gets to see it from the distance, and the reason why is because getting back to the resources, they're all thirsty, and God tells Moses to ask the rock to spring forth water. And I think probably after 40 years of listening to people complaining at him, Moses is fed up, takes his staff and slams it against the rock. And the water comes. I mean, he was promised that the water would be there, but because of him as being a this old man with a long white beard by now, God says he can't go forth because he misrepresented God in that instance. You were supposed to ask the earth, not take your anger out upon it. And that was enough to disqualify him from being able to lead the people any further. Or even because he misrepresented the nature of the Almighty. Sure thing, daughter, I'm sorry.
So we can replace the cup for a rock, Jairo?
The cup for a rock, or the cup and its contents for the rock, and the resources that come out of the rock.
So when a wrong such as on the scale that we're describing occurs, I think it occurs in three ways. And when King David would mention his sin, he would say that he sinned against God only. And okay, that's a way to view it. But I think that when you commit an error, then I see hurt in three directions. I see hurt in nature. I see hurt in the hurt that can occur to other people, and then the hurt that this also would cause God, being the owner of it all. I guess by way of holding the belief that it all belongs to God, the one who created it, everything, all the physicality and all therein. Yeah, so those would be the three directions. Let's use as an example the oil fires in Iraq when I think Saddam Hussein saw that he was going to lose. He had all the oil wells blown up. So this dumped a whole bunch of black smoke into the atmosphere. It probably raised prices, so it hurt the other people in his retaliation of knowing that things weren't going to work. If I can't have what I want, I'm just going to burn all the fields down. And then it probably upset God because here's this member of this mankind, of this creation, and look at all the suffering that is resulting now. I mean, people downstream from the smoke, the animals downstream from the smoke, and all the other additional costs that go along with that, with war. Good morning, Joel. Looks like he stepped away. Petting two dogs right now.
Hmm. Wow.
So how do we move forward? I mean, let's think of in terms of, because that's the question. In case you're still hearing, I don't think we mentioned that, Jorge. The topic this morning is moving forward.
Yeah, moving forward. Well, I have another quote from Nelson Mandela. He stated that the most powerful weapon that we have for to finish with all the wars is education. But what kind of education?
Yeah, the kind that where you learn to think, not what to think.
Yeah, and Rami, Jairo, and Dan, that education we're not gonna find it in a school.
And why is that?
Well, I can go back and trace that when they invented the Sumerian people, that when they invented the writing, that system, that we can go all the way back and tell you the same thing, manipulation.
Or selection and suppression.
Yeah, that's
Or
a example of manipulation. Oh, two great examples.
hmm.
Basically, we're talking about institutional capture for the services of the few at the expense of the rest.
Hmm. And how does one educate with without schools?
Not that expensive.
Actually, there's two movements. One is Montessori, and other is, I think, is Waldorf, that they practice auto teaching, auto guidance, something like that, autodidact. I don't remember how they call it, and they let you choose, like Dan said before, what to learn. If there's something that you like it, they're gonna promote that skill to improve that thing that you like. A good example of that is Mozart. So his father, of course, he was a musician, right? A composer, but through him, he learned the skill to how to compose and play a piano, and then, of course, he cultivate that liking of music.
Yes.
Hmm.
The same with the box. There's something like 4 different Bach composers.
Hmm.
Good morning, Joel. What does your T-shirt say? Silent but deadly. Wonderful. Oh, something on the message on the back says something about Code Ninja on one side and something not war. What? I can't get the part. Make web not war. Is that it?
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Dawn, Jorge, Rami, and of course, Jairo. What's in your background, Jairo? Oh, the front door.
Jealousies. Look like jalousies. I haven't seen jalousies since I left Hawaii.
What are jalousies?
Those window slats behind Hyro's head. Those
Oh,
are called
really?
jalousies.
Oh, I never knew they had a specific name. I saw them in California too.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Neat.
must be all the warm climates have. They're like little glass panels that open up.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
I never knew
wow.
they had a
They have
name.
a they have a crank and you crank them open.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see if I've never tried it.
What?
Oh, yes, there's a crank. Oh,
I
They
got a
took-
bagel toasting. I'll be
they
right back.
took the crank off,
They took the crank so you can't open it.
but I got the screen. There.
Yes. Oh, nice.
So the air can go in.
Yes.
Keep the flying insects from coming in, maybe
Yes.
somewhat.
In Hawaii, when I was growing up, when my first time seeing jalousies was Hawaii at 14 years old.
Jalousies.
Jalousies.
Look
And
that up. How do you
and
spell
a lot
that?
of the jealousy. I think you should say it into your phone because I don't think I know how to spell it. I've never spelled it.
No,
That I can recall.
something came up. Jealousy, a blind or shutter made of a row of angled slats.
Yes. And a lot of times
Jealousy.
they didn't have screens on the window. They would just have the jalousies. So yeah, you get a giant roach flying into the window, or geckos would just come and go as they please. And so I prefer to
Oh.
have the screen on there.
Jalousie is spelled JALOUSIE.
SIE. I was gonna say SY, jealousy. IE. Nice.
Isn't that wonderful to have in your dictionary, mental dictionary, maybe?
Yeah. Now you can walk around and you can say the word and then inform everybody else that don't know.
Look at my jealousy. Isn't it wonderful? That I can't even open it. They taped it up here. Oh no, that's not tape. That's actually some kind of
It's cracked.
bamboos. Like these pieces of glass. They have a figures of bamboos.
Oh, it's got a drawing on there.
See, it's like
That's
bamboo.
Cool.
Wow,
I've
I'm-
never seen jalousies with etchings on it.
Oh yes, like it's etched on the other side or relief on the other
Mhm.
side.
Mhm.
But on the other side, I can't get to it because there's a screen. One of those screens to keep bugs out, but it's not used for anything. Maybe we could take it off. Oh, and this thing made out of bamboo. Maybe I could take that off too. I got some more paint. I got some more paint from Home Depot.
Is
I
it
hope I
green?
got the right color. Yeah, I got. I remembered the name of the paint. It's a Blarney Stone.
Green
And
stone.
so when I looked up Blarney, BLARNEY, Blarney Stone, like the rock. So I
Yeah.
looked that up, and it comes up like the scenes of Ireland and places in Ireland. Blarney Stone, it's very green.
Oh, yes.
So that's what I've been using to paint this room. That green color is Blarney Stone. Isn't it wonderful? I'm painting everything in the room green. Well, starting with the walls. Maybe I won't paint this towel green. Maybe I'll just get another towel, try to find a towel that's green like that.
Well,
I get
Faith
all
and
my clothes.
Bigora,
get all my clothes green, and I'm putting all my favorite books in a green cover. Like getting this. I found a green masking tape.
And what is
Thank you.
Rami doing? Scratching off all the paint. What are you doing, Rami? I can't hear you.
Last time I painted the house,
Yeah, doing painting.
my son took the thing,
Yeah, doing painting.
the roller
Painting.
or the thing to finish off the corners, and he walked around the house like a walking stick, and it was hitting the
Painting.
sides of cabinets and
Painting.
carpeting.
Oh no.
I was just scraping off the paint that landed on the side of the cabinet. One of these days I'll figure out how to get it out of the carpets in the bedroom.
Oh wow. Good thing it wasn't the Blarney Rock.
That'd be all right.
Blarney Stone.
A stone, Blarney Stone.
I don't think I'll paint my
Yeah,
carpet.
doing painting.
I think I'll put another
No.
carpet.
You're gonna look like you live outside in the grass.
Yeah,
Yes, I
doing
live
painting.
I live in the backyard of a house. There's the house.
Yeah, doing painting.
And they built this little shack with nothing. There's no bathroom in there. So
Oh,
I have to go in the house to use the bathroom or the kitchen. There's a backyard and there's lots of interesting things growing. Let's see what's what kind of fruit is that?
Good morning, Daniela.
good morning, Daniela.
Daniela,
Good morning, people. How are you all doing?
La Argentina.
Yeah.
Wow. I was watching a show on a movie or a documentary on Netflix. It's on the Pope. They brought together kids and they invited the Pope to have them and they asked them questions, and that was pretty interesting. Not real young kids, not real old, maybe like teenagers, and they're pretty smart. They thought about what to ask them, and so one girl asked them about abortion and things like that, and how to deal with it.
Mhm.
And so one girl asked them about why can't we have a woman pope and things like that. And another girl was into porn. She makes a living off of porn and she enjoys it. I asked them about that. That
Yeah.
was an interesting conversation on Hulu. Well, it's in Spanish though, so you might most of it is. Well, maybe they could set the subtitles in English. I don't know. But it was pretty interesting conversation. The Pope is from Argentina.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm. Mm.
And there are a few interesting people from Argentina. Yeah.
Guillermo Vilas.
Yeah.
That was one of my heroes of tennis. With Bjorn Borg, Guillermo Vilas, and Jimmy Connors, Elena Stasi. When the tennis was big, well, where they started booming.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No. Yeah. I think Argentina has a few interesting people. It's kind of maybe a particular country in their ways of thinking and behaving.
Mm.
Very unique. Let's put it in that way.
You have
Sorry, Iro. Do they have the same expression in Spanish, silent but deadly?
No. What would be the specific meaning for that phrase?
Well, the literal meaning would be, that something doesn't make any noise or doesn't give any warning, but it can be very have catastrophic effects.
Mhm.
But the general meaning is really talking about farting. Because you say in English when you're
Oh,
when you're
maybe,
talking
maybe.
about someone who has gas, but they don't make any noise.
No, I think that I think we might have something like that. I'm not very used to speaking in having like slang
Were expressions.
wording expressions in general, not in English or Spanish, but I'm pretty sure that exists.
You're very
I'm pretty
you're,
sure.
you're from a higher social class than me.
And no, I think it's also because I'm a female. I think that males in Argentina have a more they
More
use
modest way of talking.
yeah. Yeah, I think that basically maybe gender roles in Argentina are a little, not a lot more, because it's not like a regular Latin country in that sense that the genders are very like
Specific.
strongly divided. No, not in that sense at all. Argentina has like a very strong feminist movement. But yeah, there is a little more. There's still that difference. I think males are a little more rough, or a lot more rough. I think more compared to United States.
It's like a puzzle.
Oh yeah, they do that regardless the social status. they enjoy that way of speaking, males. Have
Now,
fun.
where are you now, Daniela? Are you still in Argentina?
No. I'm a USA citizen right now, so
Oh,
I'm
okay.
living here.
Yeah,
Are you
I
in
was.
Florida?
Sorry?
Oh, are you here in Florida?
Yeah, I live in the Sunshine State. Paradise, every morning.
What area are you in?
Broward,
How do you say it?
in the Broward County, like 25 minutes from Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale. Oh,
Mhm.
Did you get hit by that flood?
Not really, because I'm in the West area. I mean, like I'm not in the West area, but I'm in I live in the suburbs. Kind of far away from sea areas, and no, we didn't get obviously we had like a lot of rain, heavy rain, and I lost power for like 2 hours, but luckily all good. But I did go out with a truck to help a few friends, and I could see the damage in other areas, and it was like really, really bad. Like cars were literally destroyed. They were like swimming in the streets, like they were like trying like boats in the ocean. But it literally I mean it literally. It was like that. So yeah, it was pretty impressive. A lot of fun. If you have a truck, right, in those days.
Good morning, Daniela. Welcome back.
Thanks.
Rami, I need anybody. I'm gonna put something in the text. And Rami, if you can help me to understand this parable, because it was a little bit hard for me to understand. The scarecrow. And if somebody else have a different idea, well, welcome.
we can't hear you, Rami.
Scarecrow.
Thank you. For the purposes of those listening in, I'm going to read what Jorge shared in the chat, and just a it's a not too long of a passage titled "The Scarecrow." Once I said to a scarecrow, you must be tired of standing in this lonely field. And he said, the joy of scaring is a deep and lasting one, and I never tire of it. Said I, after a minute of thought, it is true, for I too have known that joy. Said he, only those who are stuffed with straw can know it. Then I left him, not knowing whether he had complimented or belittled me. A year passed, during which the scarecrow turned philosopher. And when I passed by him again, I saw 2 crows building a nest under his hat.
Warm cookies.
So that means so the scarecrow was effective in scaring the crows. Because why? Because it was in the scarecrow's mind to scare crows. But then the scarecrow became a philosopher. So his mind changed. And as a philosopher, he loves wisdom. And in wisdom, he develops compassion and love for all sentient beings, including the crows. And then the crows were no longer scared of the scarecrow. And so they built nests on the scarecrow. Is that a good interpretation? Or that's what I get? I don't know. I may be wrong.
What does it mean to be stuffed with straw?
I'm doing stubby.
What's straw good for?
I'm doing straw.
Oh, that's something I didn't think about. The person narrating the story had to think, is this scarecrow insulting me? Because only those who are stuffed with straw will enjoy scaring.
So, a bovine or a horse can feed off grass, and then for the winter months you'll harvest grass so that when they can't get necessarily to it anymore, they'll have a ready supply and you can feed them this ready supply. But it's only good for a season, right? Because if you leave it too long, eventually, especially if it gets wet, and then it goes moldy and insects will go crawling through it. It'd be really quite nasty. You pick up a bale of straw and there's a whole like scurrying of roaches coming out from underneath it because maybe there's a hole in the roof of your barn and it got wet and they all decided to gather into that area.
Wow. I never thought of that. I am ignorant of farming and taking care of horses and cows and barns, straw, hay. There's a song by Julio Iglesias, Hey.
Thank you for that, Jorge. I really enjoyed the poem, and it helps me in a personal way.
I'm gonna keep sending you these poems or these parables, Rami, because I don't know if you heard about Khalil. What is it? What's his name? I forgot.
Khalil?
Khalil
Khalil
Gibran.
Khalil Gibran. Yeah, Khalil Gibran. And in his book, The Madman. Oh my Lord, I'm still. I can start reading those poems. Beautiful, beautiful. This is one of them that I thought of you, Rami. I need to talk to these guys, and I need to listen what the interpretation, the opinion. Joel and Daniela and Dan, please, you're more than welcome to interpret or give me your opinion about this poem.
Well, I think it refers to the Vinci game. But of course, I think everything refers to the Vinci game. And in particular, it refers to a regulation Vinci game, which requires that the officiant wear a hat, signifying that it's an official Vinci game, similar to sumo wrestling in Japan, where you have a person that comes out at the beginning of the game wearing, or the contest wearing a costume and chants I'm not sure if it's a prayer or a song or a poem, and then the match can begin. So Vinci is not that ornate, but the officiant at a regulation game would wear a hat signifying that they are the officiant and they are going to officiate at a regulation Vinci game. So that's why I saw that, the hat on the straw is not as important as the role that is being fulfilled. And when he said only those who are stuffed with straw can know it, so that unless you have actually had that experience, and at first he thought he understood, after a minute of thought, I too have known that joy. And then the the scarecrow said only those who are stuffed with straw can know it. He felt a little put down because, wait a minute, I'm not stuffed with straw. I'm a real flesh and blood person. So maybe what I think I understand, I really don't understand. And this may be the beginning of becoming a philosopher, when you are able to engage with the thought that maybe you don't know the right strategy to win Vinci after all, and the guy with the hat knows more. Thank you.
Wonderful. But could it apply to other games like this game? Let's see. Ooh.
That's Ludo, isn't it?
Oh, Ludo.
Yeah, no, I think Vinci is unique because it's a cross-cultural game. And
Wow, you know your games.
well, I've been at this for a while. I still haven't figured it all out, but my straw isn't completely rotting yet.
It might have some bugs in it.
Of that, I am certain.
Mm.
When the scarecrow could be a professor or the expert in that lonely field. That's a great one for these last 4 years.
Could the straw represent or symbolize that which fills one up and gives one form?
Good.
So could it be what that which forms us, that we've created ourself. We've built up this ego and the self-perception or self-aggrandizement or we have a self-image, and we're presenting a person to others, and we have a function or an aim in life. So for the scarecrow, it was to scare crows. So what is your function or purpose in life? And you are what you use to create that function is the hay, the straw, or something like that.
Scarecrow's constructed. So old clothes stuffed full of straw and put up on a post. But the straw could also represent the learning that was stuffed into the expert. And maybe by becoming the philosopher,
I want orange. I want orange green.
they were able to drop or have that knowledge
Green crown.
that made the person effective for a purpose of scaring away predators.
Please.
Gone. It's not even predators. What are it's not about the function of the scarecrow, but rather what is an orange screen crown?
I want orange green crown. Please.
You have two crowns on. I think the other one is in your bedroom. Go look for it. Yeah. So Joel got a new hat when he went to Texas. And is that the same hat or is this a different hat?
I want green
No,
crown.
this is the hat that's worn
Green crown,
when you're
please.
officiating at a regulation Vinci game, but for international use, because it comes from a now defunct hat shop in Toronto by the name of Sammy Taft Custom Hatters. They're no longer in business in Toronto, so this is a bit of an antique, and this is a made in England hat. But I'll put it back in the hat box because we're not having an officially sanctioned international competition. And I'll show you my Texas hat.
Joel cracks me up. He is so proud of his Texas hat. I love it. And he had a good old time in Texas. Remember, he showed us the snake handler?
The snake rodeo.
Yeah.
By the way, Danielle, the topic for this morning is moving forward. And
Oh, I thought that the scarecrow could be related to that. I was wondering why the scarecrow was there. Yeah, now it makes sense.
This is my Texas hat, or one of them. I got 3 of them. Wait a minute, I'll turn off the background. Then you can see it better.
Lovely. I love that hat. I love
This-
it.
You
This
look like
one-
the Duke.
Well, I don't know. Anita says I look like an Orthodox Jew because they, I said to her, now do I look like a cowboy? And she said, no, you look like a Jew. Because they do. they do wear these black hats. Borsalinos are the brand that is, and they're quite costly, if I'm not mistaken.
Ah.
They're very distinctive. If you go into certain neighborhoods, they'll all have similar kind of headgear, if not identical. But this one I got at Target on the clearance table. But I don't know if you can see that. Oh, hold on. Can you see that little pin in the side?
No, it's like the
Hold on, let me turn off the background video.
yeah. It gets confused with the background. Yeah.
Uh,
Oh,
So-
yeah.
Ah.
do you recognize that symbol?
No, what is it?
All you Americans, you don't recognize that
No.
symbol?
It's very small. I can barely see it.
Yeah, I guess
It's a flag.
No, I know it's
In the heart of Texas, it's their flag.
And I'm not American.
Yeah, okay, it's let me get my background set up again, or here, maybe we'll go to the sumo wrestlers. That's that was the original Confederate flag.
Mm.
So when the revolution in the United States was taking place, the southern states, the Confederate states, originally used that flag, but it looked so similar to the northern flags that soldiers were going to the wrong side in the battle. They thought they were rallying around their flag, but they were going to the northern side's flag. So that's when they changed it to the, what's now recognized. And I didn't know that such a thing happened. So when I saw those pins at a museum, I bought some in Missouri. Missouri, as you know, is the show me state.
So you're saying that flag pin is a flag from the Confederate before, right? Because every state had their own flag, and then the one that's commonly referred to, I guess that's the rebel flag, is the battle flag of
The Republic.
Mississippi or Alabama.
Yeah. And Mississippi has never had a champion sumo wrestler.
Oh,
But Hawaii has had 3 or 4, Dawn.
3.
3. And Dawn can sing the songs about them. That was really impressive, Dawn. I had no idea that was so widely known in Hawaii, and that it made their way into music.
Yeah. Modern day, in the future, they will probably be heroes. And
Yeah.
that makes me wonder, how many of us, or some of the people we know, will be looked at as heroes of the past? Like Achilles. Will we be like that?
Hard to tell. You'll have to ask AI that, but I can't get registered for AI.
What?
Every time I try to use that new artificial intelligent thing, it says try again later.
that's interesting. Generative pretext transformers, GPT. They're about as good as you have pre-trained them to be, which means already the ones that are available to the public will give you answers depending upon contexts. So if you ask about one religious leader, it's, oh, well, tell me a joke about this religious leader, and they'll give it to you. Tell me a joke about that religious leader. I'm sorry, I don't tell jokes about religious leaders or figures. So because it comes from man, and man is flawed, you're amplifying the flaws. Coming up with very confident sounding responses that include them.
I heard that kids are starting to use it to write their papers in school, and so there's an app that helps teachers detect that they have been using them. I think
Yes.
it's called Zero Chat GPT or something like that.
Yeah, it's kind of creates an arms race between those who can tell whether or not it's coming from AI or not. Our Turing tests are going to have to get a heck of a lot more sophisticated. And in many cases, for a while, they're just not going to work. I got to go. I'll be back.
Wow. Jorge, what do you think moving forward means?
March forward means I don't know. I don't know, Jairo.
Like
Moving forward?
moving forward?
From what?
From
Hurt in relationships or pain with people that you love and you care about, but you have a conflict with them because of something they've done. And how do you move forward from that?
Oh, well, again, if I can say this quote from the Bible, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. I have to step away from that mind conditioning, that programming, that I have to be right or wrong. I have to step away if I want to move forward. That's my opinion.
Wow. In other words, give them the baby, even if it's yours, because
Yes,
if not, yeah, the baby will be cut in half.
you won't forget the story of the King Solomon, Jairo, but yeah, that's exactly that's one of the ideas that came to my mind.
Exactly. Yep. And I can tell you from experience myself that that is the best way to go, because otherwise you're in this constant and perpetual state of conflict. It's intense. It wears on your body, your psyche, and you can't force something. You can't make someone do something. You can't make them see, but you can have peace. So you have to let it go.
So, Jairo, do you know how many people, like, do you have access to the live stream statistics as to how many people come and watch this thing? Do they keep those kind of records? Are they accessible to the person posting them?
I don't know. I have I'm starting to use YouTube Live, because after a certain level of time and use and maybe followers, I don't know, the channel Wake Up and Think Clearly on YouTube has been given the special ability of being able to go live, and so now I've been doing just setting it for live. Like I start the meeting and then I go to set it for YouTube Live, so it's being recorded live on YouTube, and people could watch it live and maybe chat, but I don't think there's anybody there. Oh, bye, Jorge. He left. So let's see. So I don't know what maybe I could advertise that we're on YouTube live also. So maybe somebody on YouTube that's subscribed to Wake Up and Think Clearly on YouTube could join us live on YouTube, which when they do, it'll be delayed a few seconds, like maybe 10 or 15 seconds.
How would I do that? If I
Mm.
wanted to join, like, since I'm now on Zoom, can I also join on YouTube Live? Could I have two windows open, one with a little time delay?
Yes, I think you could open
Yes.
a window with another browser or something, or yeah, you could use your I guess you're using that. I imagine you're using an Apple product,
Yes.
like a Mac. You could
Yes.
open Safari and go to youtube.com/wake up and think clearly. But instead of AND, it's a letter N. Wake up and think clearly, and it's all together, no space. Oh, maybe you have to put an at symbol after the slash, like youtube.com/at wake up and think clearly, and it'll take you to the channel.
Okay, I'm gonna try that.
And then it'll say we're look for live and click on that, and you'll see us delayed in squares maybe.
Do I put the at before the wake up and think clearly?
Yes, like youtube.com/at wake up and think clearly. Let's see, don't have to put any slash after that, I don't think. And instead of and, use the letter N as in Nancy. Wake up and think clearly.
Oh, okay, I did that wrong. Okay, so it's not finding that. I put in the whole word.
While you're in YouTube, just search for the name Wake Up and Think Clearly. Just type it like that.
Oh, you could yes, you could try that altogether. Let's see.
Very slow. Maybe because I'm using a lot of bandwidth for the Zoom call. Nothing.
Oh, yes, YouTube is definitely a hog.
Let's see. Oh man. Oh, here it is. Let's see. If I type in wake up, think clearly.
And it says connection timed out. YouTube.com host error. My browser is working. Cloudflare is working, but I don't know what my host is.
Maybe close that window and open a new one and just go right into YouTube.
Okay.
And once you're in YouTube, then search again. Try it there.
Yeah, I typed, I posted in the chat, wake up and think clearly, all together without any spaces.
Oh, so you can click the link. Good idea.
Oh, it's not a link. It's just the words "wake up and think clearly" all together. But
paste the link for him.
Maybe you could copy and paste it.
Yeah, copy the link from the video.
I keep getting this host error for YouTube. Let me show you my my window, or whatever the hell it's called. Oh, share my screen.
Let's see if I can.
Can I share my screen? How do I do that? Share screen? No.
Oh, what happened?
Can you see that now?
Oh, there it is. Oh, yes, I see. Connection timed out.
Yeah. I don't know what it means.
Well, Pyro put the link in the chat. Try it and click the link and see if it works.
Okay. What can I do? Visit the, please try again in a few minutes. And
Yeah.
Cloudflare ID. Click. Oh, I better.
We'll see if it's the YouTube that's the issue if you try the link.
Mm.
Then we can see.
Yeah, it works for this link. Now I got it.
Awesome.
Wow. How much delay does it have? Starting now.
Array ID.
How many seconds? Until you hear now again.
We'll see if it's the YouTube that's the issue if you try the link.
No, it's not.
Mm.
Then we can see.
It's not. It works. It works when it works for this link. Now I got it.
Perfect. So you can see it's a little bit delayed. That's
How
nice.
much delay does it have? Starting now. Oh, that was like 15 seconds. Until you hear now again.
We'll see if it's the YouTube that's the issue if you try the link.
No, it's not. It's not. It works. It works when.
Wow, we are time traveling.
I got it.
So you
Oh,
can see it's a
and
little
you
bit
could drag. You know that red line at the bottom. You could drag it backwards, and you can go back in time a half an hour or all the way to the beginning of the meeting.
No, it's not. Yeah, that's cool. That's
know.
cool. I wonder why it
Or
didn't
maybe
work.
you could
the other-
chat in. You could chat in YouTube. Maybe if you have a YouTube membership or you signed up to YouTube like with a Gmail account, then you could maybe chat into the YouTube area for chatting live. You could say hello, friends.
And then
So
you
we
can
have-
answer yourself.
We have one person on YouTube live at this time.
It's Joel.
That was me. Yeah.
Maybe I could
That's
add.
interesting.
well-
Daniela, you look like you're very involved in something. What are you doing at 9 o'clock in the morning?
She's grading papers.
I'm waking up and starting to think clearly. Like,
Ah,
yes, I love doing that. That's what I like to do very much. And sometimes when I see that the group or the conversation starts branching, that I think this group does plenty of that. I just like writing down more in a linear manner what I thinking or some ideas, so I don't forget about it. Because I don't know, I just like it in that way.
I think that's a feature of being young. You think each of your ideas is very important.
No, it's more than ideas. More than ideas, it's like I guess I don't know, action ideas, like things
Okay.
to do in regards to this. Like, for example, like you guys were talking about creating more advertisement for the group, or I think you showed a desire for like this to be watched more, for more people, to reach more people on YouTube. I was thinking like I personally love I like communities, and I love meeting people and like gathering people and see both simultaneously. I like all the media and production part of media, like the backstage, let's put it in that way, the behind scenes. So I was kind of like trying to connect those two things to see if there was a suggestion that I could make.
Wow.
At this specific point.
You see what you have created, Jairo?
Wow.
With all your books that you don't read, like me, with all my travel books that I don't read.
Wow.
But
Hmm.
anyways.
It keeps the dream alive. The dream that I will travel someday again.
Do you travel on YouTube? You can type in my mother was born in Fresno, Colombia. So to entertain her, I sit her in the sofa and put on the big TV through Roku. I go to the channel where I type in Fresno, Tolima, and then there's somebody that has gotten on a little motorcycle, because they use motorcycles a lot. Those little more than
Scooter.
cars, it's little scooters, and they go through all the streets of Fresno, Tolima. It's on a mountain, and it's real pretty. And so he drives through the town, and okay, here I'm driving through 6th Avenue, and I tell my mother, look, we're in Fresno, and look, there's we're going through 6th Avenue. Do you remember? Because she was born there and grew up there until she was a teenager, to try to see if she gets excited a little bit. Oh, I used to do that with my sister who passed away from cancer. I would entertain her by putting, oh, now we're walking in New York, like in Manhattan, and somebody's like doing a walking tour of Manhattan, and it looks so real, and there's the crowds and stuff, and so after a while she thought that she was walking there in Manhattan.
That's nice, Jairo.
Hmm.
It's nice that they've got
It's
you.
so beautiful. Yeah, it's so beautiful. Excuse me, so beautiful, Jairo.
Hmm.
It's
So you
beautiful.
can, there's so many people doing that, like with those really good cameras that they put on their helmets, and they go bicycling or doing whatever, or just people throwing themselves out there with a parachute or whatever, or flying, or yes, drones. So you don't have to travel anymore. You can just get on YouTube and say, I think I'll go to this place. I think I'll go to that place. I think I'll go to Mount Everest. So you can scratch it off your bucket list.
I don't have those dramatic aspirations, Mount Everest and all that. I'm getting to an age where it's just getting harder and harder to walk around for too long. But I would like to see some other places. Last night I was playing Vinci with one guy in Switzerland and another in Russia, and he didn't like to say what part. And third fella was in Puerto Rico, and a gal was in where was she? In Amsterdam.
Wow.
Yeah, it was kind of cool, really, to think that people so far apart could share a game online and get to know each other.
I mean, that's awesome. I remember back I guess 1990s actually, when I had my first computer as an adult, when it was a Windows-based computer, and being able to connect. And I remembered I connected with and had friends from all over the world back then.
Yeah.
Before Facebook and MySpace and all that. And I mean, you kept in touch with people. It was really, really nice. It was calm and peaceful and pleasant. And it really felt like you could reach out and touch any place around the world. And then for a while, it became really yuck. The internet became quite yuck. And trying to connect with people in a real way turned into someone showing you themselves, or, everything became sexualized for a while. But now it seems to be coming back. And in a way, I kind of feel like that's what it's supposed to be like. We're supposed to be able to connect with anybody across the world.
Wow. I wonder how Hiroshi is doing. Hiroshi.
Yeah, I haven't heard from Hiroshi since I got back from Japan. I must send him an email and see how he's doing. You know that Hiroshi, that's the name that he publishes under. It's not his real name.
Oh,
You can look up in philosophy journals, Hiroshi Satow, and some of the articles that he publishes under that name. I don't know why people wouldn't use their own name. Maybe some of the philosophical ideas are controversial, or there are other reasons that one might choose not to want to be known by your own name. I don't know, but yeah, I must reach out to Hiroshi.
maybe to protect
The
his
innocent.
views from his family. Then if he put his real name, then his family look it up and say, "Oh my gosh, he's thinking about other people's ideas or something." I don't know.
Yeah, I never thought of that, but that could very well be the case because it's a very traditional type of society. And if you hold views that are contrary to mainstream culture, I think that's maybe more significant in Japan than it might be here in North America or in Europe. I don't know, but that's a good thought, Hiro. It's one that hadn't occurred to me. Is Dominic, was he here earlier today, or
Yeah. Oh no,
Okay.
he hasn't been here.
was there some altercation or something that happened at his last attendance?
No, he just says he's taking a break from this, and he will be listening to this. Maybe he's listening to it on YouTube Live. He could if he wanted to, or maybe he'll just he'll go back to YouTube Live where this will be kept as a recording, and he'll be able to play it back. So we better talk nicely about him.
Yes. The last time we were like, maybe he's listening. And Dominic, come Dominic. He never came. So yeah, I guess he must be taking a break. But if you listen to this, Dominic, we want you back. But also, I was going to mention on that, I just didn't mention it before, but maybe sometimes it's difficult for him to be on because if Rami is on, didn't his wife say that she cannot hear Dominic's voice?
His wife maybe gets annoyed with his voice, and so he asks Rami to remove himself or something, or come back when he's not there. So maybe that made Dominic kind of shy.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I was wondering if it might do that to him, but I would not like Dominic back. He is spicy. He adds the spice. I'm like, where's my spicy meatball? And there's not here. All we got is spaghetti and sauce.
Well, I can always put up a sumo background if people want a little bit of spice, but even
that might be a bit too spicy for some of us, seeing all that flesh.
Oh wow!
Look at those butt cheeks behind you. That's very spicy.
Wow, they look pretty.
Did I tell you that
Whoa.
I met a guy from Japan on a Zoom meeting from the city that we went to watch the sumo? I didn't tell. So there's a group that meets, it's called the International Friends Connection. And they have like 41 different Zooms to practice English at different times and places. And one of the meetings I went to, there was a guy there, spoke English very well from Japan. And because I had recently been to Japan, I said, what part of Japan? And he said, I was in Fukuoka. And Fukuoka is where we had to go to. It's almost at the far north of Japan in order to see sumo.
Wow.
Oh.
So talk about a small world, that the fact, and he had never been to sumo. He knew there was a sumo stadium. I think they call it a Ryogan or Rykogan. But he'd never been to sumo. He thought it was much more expensive than it was. although it wasn't cheap to begin with. But if you go early in the day and you're not anxious to see the real champions, just to watch it, it's quite affordable, or reasonably affordable, I should say.
Do you
Uh,
think it's declining in the culture now? It's not as many competitions? You don't know?
No, I think they're on a very fixed schedule. They have 6 competitions a year. They have one every 2 months, and they have them in different parts of the country. And
Ah.
yeah, so because we kept going to the main one in Tokyo, we just assumed, because they had signs in Japanese and dates in Japanese, that in a couple of weeks they would be having a tournament, so we'd get tickets for that. So we hung around Tokyo, and then at the 4th time, when people said, no, not till January, not till January next year, and I couldn't understand it. They had, the dates in November, and they said not till January next year. And then we realized the sign was for the sumo in a different city. They just put the sign up at the sumo stadium in Tokyo. But because we couldn't read Japanese, we didn't realize that.
Makes me want to say Akebono, Musashi Maru, and Konishiki. I don't think any of them are there.
No, I don't think so. I think they're retired. But I appreciate you sharing that, Dawn, because I'm quite fascinated by sumo, and about Hawaii. In fact, I have a travel book about Hawaii, but I had no idea that they had found their way into folk songs.
Yes. And I think I said this, but it's Israel Kamaka Viva Ole. So his brother is, which, before he passed, his name made it worldwide, which is awesome.
Israel Kamaka, how do I say that again?
Kamaka
Viva
Ole.
Kamaka Viva Ole.
Yes.
Kamaka Viva Ole.
Kamaka
Yes.
Israel Kamaka Viva
Israel
Ole.
Kamaka
Yes.
Viva Ole. He's the
Yes.
one that became popular with his rendition of What a Wonderful World, and the other song would be
Somewhere over the rainbow.
Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Yeah,
Yes.
on a ukulele.
Yes.
Wait a minute, is Israel Kamaka Viva Ole the singer or the sumo wrestler?
That's the singer that sang the song about them.
Okay. All right. Israel
Oh.
Kamaka.
Oh, but he wasn't a sumo wrestler. He could have been.
He could have been. He was so big, but no,
I
he was a
heard.
singer from young. Like I saw a picture of him. He was in the a group called the Makaha Sons of Niihau, and he was 14. He was so big. He was a giant at 14. There's a picture of him. He was already in there.
In all directions, like tall and wide.
He wasn't as big, but he was maybe 2 or 3, maybe 3 times a normal 14-year-old. He's giant.
Probably big, like 6 foot tall.
I couldn't tell. I didn't. It was only an image that I saw.
Oh. So moving forward, what does it mean, that expression moving forward? What does it mean to you? Anyone?
Well, it means getting out of the cycles that we've been trapped within.
Oh, that's good. There's so much things that I have to move forward with about. Maybe that involves letting go. Maybe, you've got work to do. So, Joel, what is your prescription for moving forward?
My prescription involves engaging with other people.
In
And
the Vinci game?
well, that's one way, but just I just
Okay,
posted Israel was born May the 20th, 1959 in Honolulu to Henry Kaliloha Naniwa Kamakaole Jr. and Evangeline Liani Kamikola, who worked at a Waikiki nightclub.
Wow, he was
Maybe I should
born
become a skinny
same
sumo
year.
wrestler. He's a big guy.
Woo, Joel, you mean you can open a new sector for skinny sumo wrestlers? Oh my gosh.
You know, I'm a little worried that I'm getting too skinny.
That dad's name, I think it may have been something Kealoha, and then another name, and then Kamaka Viva Ole. The W sounds like a V.
Oh, in Hawaiian, they pronounce the W like V?
Yeah, so Hawaii is actually Hawaii.
Okay,
Wow.
interesting. And in Japanese, they have no V sound.
Wow.
Oh,
I
interesting.
didn't know that. Yeah. So actually, Hiroshi taught me that. Hiroshi said no, they would sometimes pronounce Vinci as Binchi because they don't use the V in Japanese because it bars the teeth, and that seems aggressive.
Oh, so in India, they do pronounce the V, and so like Bodhisattva would be pronounced Bodhisattva, but when it went to China or Tibet or Japan, maybe they started saying Bodhisattva, like
Oh, they did.
the V. Because also in Tibet, they can't pronounce the V as in Victor. They would either make it a wa or a ba, like a, as in bubbles, but with a B,
Oh,
as in what?
boy.
As boy. Yes.
Interesting. When I first got there, when I was 14 years old, not to just go off the topic of moving forward, because this is in the past, but I remember my dad had a great time making fun with me and the different language. So we were on the road heading into Honolulu, and he says, "Oh, Dawn, how do you pronounce that street name?" And it's spelled Like Like. That's what it's spelled. So it's like. And of course he's just giggling. And I'm like, oh, what's it? It's not like, it's not likey, it's leaky. So all the different ways to say and pronounce these letters in the different languages around the world is very interesting. And I think it's interesting that in other cultures, the V is pronounced like a W, or the W is like a V, and not just in Hawaiian culture. Interesting.
Oh, what about the word philosophy? What if it's pronounced philosophy in Greek? What if the PH is just a P sound, but you aspirate it? Philosophy. How did it become philosophy with an F sound? But in Spanish, they respelled it in using an F, so it's filosofia with an F. But maybe in Greek they do use a PH. Maybe they have a special letter for PH. I don't know. I'll have to investigate.
That's very interesting.
Yes, there's so much to learn.
Mm-hmm.
It's hopeless. Time.
Yeah. But moving forward, for me, I think moving forward is about understanding that I have to fully accept the past and not want it to be different. I can't move forward. Even though time goes forward, my mind gets stuck sometimes in pockets of desire for something to be different. And I spend my time trying to think about or work on making something different than what it is. Sometimes I try to make it like it was, which is the past. And hearing myself say this now, it's like, well, you get it. But actually, I don't get it because I still get tripped up in my life on things that I would desire to be different. And for me to move forward, I know it is acceptance and allowance. And when I am in that state of mind, it is so breezy. It is beautiful. It's blissful, actually.
Wow. What do you mean by accept the past? And how do you accept the past?
I think that accepting the past requires no desire. It requires you to
Wow.
not fight, have no resistance.
Mm.
And sometimes it also requires you to forgive. And many would say it actually is a requirement to move forward. You have to forgive, let go, accept, allow. And that's it.
When you say those words, like forgive, allow, you're applying it to others and also to yourself, maybe, right?
Yeah, I guess I'm speaking generally about humans.
But when you practice for or when you go through your situation, your mind is is stuck on something from the past, and what are the steps involved to getting you to accept or to forget the past?
Well, I can't forget it. And trying to forget it is avoidance, which means you will never come face to face with yourself and
Mm.
accept yourself. The whole thing for me is about acceptance of myself. For example, I told you earlier about my situation with a friend where it's never been any different. It's always been like this. So why do I keep having this expectation that it's going to be different? Okay, let's try it one more time. It's going to be different this time. But in order for me to be where I am now, which is the mindset of moving forward with this person, it required me to see that that's what I'm doing. It required me to see myself. I could not blame this person. Oh, things are unhappy when you're around because you do this. Instead, I had to see, and what are you doing, Dawn? What are you doing? And when I hear that question and I pause, almost like I step outside of myself and I become someone else looking, and it's like I can see myself and I can see this other person and we're interacting, and it's like I can observe myself and I see what I'm doing, and I have to question. You know, this is what this person is doing. You know that they can't see it. You know, they're stuck themselves. So why do you keep putting yourself in this situation when I can observe and look at myself in that way? I can have a more open mind of seeing things with clarity and accept that that's who this person is. And this is who I am. When this person acts like this, I'm going to react like this. So do you want to keep putting yourself in that situation or not? What do you want? And I realized that for me, I want peace. Other people might want something different. I want peace. So peace may mean I cannot have this person in my environment. And that's the allowance and acceptance.
There are many people that I don't have in my environment, Dawn. It's not that I reject them. I just find that my interaction with them chemically is not positive for me. Not to say that I'm the way I should be or that they're a way they shouldn't be. It just doesn't work. So isn't the definition of insanity keeping on doing the same thing, trying to imagine a different result, which never occurs? So, you know, I hear what you're saying, but I have to go to the Toronto Philosophy Meetup now. And I hope everybody learns more about Hawaiian. I have a book for Lonely Planet Hawaii I got at the dollar store, you know, the recycling store. So Jairo, I'm starting to...
isn't the Central Florida Philosophy Meetup that this is part of superior to the Toronto Philosophy Meetup?
I'm not sure. Why is that happening today? They're having it at Temple University. It goes on all day. I don't know how it's working. I just noticed it online, but they have opening remarks at 9:30 and teaching climate curriculum. All over the different academics all over the world. It looks very interesting.
This is the Central Florida Philosophy Meetup that you're in now.
Is it?
Yes.
Well, maybe the Central Florida Philosophy Meetup, I can't even pronounce it, should join the World Philosophy Meetup and study philosophy and the climate crisis. Philosophers for Sustainability Conference.
Oh, that's what we're doing now, because when we're moving forward, we're going through the climate that is in our mind, and we're letting go of the hurricanes that are happening in our mind.
Well, enjoy, Joel, and I'm going to go too, everyone. So enjoy your weekend. Bye.
Bye. Nice to see you again, Daniela. Nice to see you, Jairo.
Thank you.
Give my love to your mother.
Thank you, Don. Thank you, everyone. Anybody left? All left me. Oh, no, I must accept the past and move forward. Because there's so many opportunities, so much to do. So I leave you with this thought. It's okay to look back if it's going to help you move forward twice as far. You know, like one step back, two steps forward kind of thing. Thank you.